Sony hates diseases. Oh, and there was this whole Animal Crossing thing. Anyway, it is Gamers to Matt. Hello.
Yes. Hi. How's it going?
What's up?
I'm here.
You are here. You're back. You've returned. The prodigal son has returned.
All right. Let's settle down. Let's not get too
All right.
uppity here.
Oh, all right. Anyway, what are we doing?
Gamers 2 podcast for I almost said January. For February.
Set me back a month.
Yeah. February 21st, 2020. Nate hosting.
Hello.
Matt co-hosting.
Hello.
I killed Dewey and took his place.
You know he'd be okay with it.
He would. He'd be like, yes, please.
Yeah. He'd be like, I'm all about it.
I really enjoyed listening to you guys.
Yeah,
it was good. It was a good episode, and it was nice to, be able to listen to an episode without going and
without hating yourself.
Yeah, be like, can't do that.
It was funny. It was funny recording it because he mentioned that he had listened to our episode the week before, which I know he doesn't normally do.
Yeah, and
then when you texted us yesterday, a couple days ago, and you said like good episode, I was like, oh, this is weird because I know you don't listen to it, and I hear a good episode on like Mondays or Tuesdays from some people that I know listen to it, but I'm like, it doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean. Like, there's a difference when certain people say thank you and other people say thank you. You're like, well, you're just saying it because obviously you're going to say it. Like, I know these people aren't going to tell me that I have a bad episode. They're they're the supportive ones. They're like, yeah, no, you're doing a great job. We'll never tell you anything's wrong. And I'm like, that's not what I want. I need you to tell me when things are wrong. Not that I don't love praise because my ego is massive, but that's different. But when you say good episode, I'm like, all right, that means I know he listened.
Yeah. And
then you're like, and by the way, we had audio problems. And I was like, all right, then I know you actually listened.
Yeah. No, I did. We won't go over it, I guess. But I did enjoy, like, you guys talked about Pokemon a lot, obviously.
Right.
But
it was the main crux of last week.
But it was, like, I listened to it and it didn't bother me, I guess, the best way to put it. Because normally, like, I'm like, Pokemon, I'm like, oh, shut the fuck up. I don't care about Pokemon. But, no, it was good.
Good.
It was all good. Dewey did a great job, as per usual.
Yeah, he's never done a bad job for us, I don't think.
No, because he likes talking about video games. So
yeah, it just took a bit to. If you remember our very first iterations of this and the terribleness was.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, purposely deleted them because I couldn't stand having them exist. But those were terrible. Trying to wean everybody into learning how to talk into a microphone and
little Gamers 2 history. The first iteration of the show was
called Party Box as well. It was Gamers 2.
It was Party Box.
I still have the art for Party Box.
And it was usually four people. Sometimes it was 5. Sometimes it was, I don't know if we ever did one with 3.
No, I don't think we ever did do one with 3.
Which was a good time, but when you have no experience, trying to wrangle 4 people to talk in a cohesive manner to where you're not all just speaking over each other is way more difficult than you think.
It was that mixed with people not knowing how to actually talk in a microphone, so people would be really quiet, and we couldn't fix that in post. And then Dewey, specifically, I remember, had the problem of talking. He just wouldn't say anything.
Yeah, which is funny because, like,
I know he doesn't have that problem.
Yeah, yeah. It's just that, like, well, it took us a long time to. Well, it took us all a long time to get over the fact that, like, you're recording it and it immediately changes your whole personality and demeanor and everything.
Right.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it took, and I've said it before, but if you listen to early episodes of us. And I've had this confirmed since. If you go listen to early episodes of us to us now, we do not sound the same at all.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that's true. It's
completely different. And there is the turning point of when I said, we're not sitting down anymore, we're standing up.
Yeah.
Because we were slouching and everything got condensed.
Which I think also, it reminded me that I meant to bring this up when I was listening to this listening to the episode on the planes. I think one of the reasons why the podcast is quieter now is we talk more normal, whereas in earlier episodes we were like worried too much, and I think we were like talking a lot louder.
Okay. I mean, I talk. The other joke is I always talk loud, and I'm louder than everybody that'll ever be on this podcast.
But even then, I'm
still quiet in the grand scheme of what we're.
You're quieter
discussing.
than previously, I think.
Yeah, potentially. But yeah, it was a good time. It was a fun time. But I am glad to have you back.
Having issues over here. It's cool.
I could tell.
It's just everything's...
Usually when that happens is after a freshly shampooed day and my hair gets all loose and does whatever it wants.
Yep.
And then yesterday. Yep, exactly. The one day thing, and that's usually why I have those. If you saw it, probably the bathroom counter, the like elastic headbands. It's basically just so I don't have to tie a bandana, and I just keep the hair out of my forehead.
Yeah, my hair is also at a weird length right now. Like, it's been a while since I've had a haircut, and the previous haircut she cut it differently.
Right, it's supposed to be a month or so.
Yeah, and it's so long on top.
Oh yeah, it is,
and so short on the sides and backs that like it doesn't bother me like it normally does.
Right.
But the top is so long now that like if my hair is wet, it goes down past my eyes.
Oh wow.
It's so much longer than like I thought.
Because you didn't notice it not bothering you.
That's basically it. Until I took a shower and it was like literally stabbing me in the eyes.
That can be a problem.
Yeah. Yep.
But anyway, this is a gaming podcast. We'll get back to that eventually. So
eventually,
the joke would be that I would normally ask you, what have you done in the last 7 days? So I'm going to skip that question, and instead I'm going to ask you, what have you done in the last 14 days?
So I've actually done, as far as what we normally cover, I've done a lot.
Wait, okay. So
I know it doesn't make sense.
Let's discuss the part very shortly where you say you've done more now when you just spent 10 days in the Dominican.
Yeah, it was 9 days.
Oh, sorry, 9 days. So 9 days you had access to not anything. So in the short amount of time, you managed to play more than if I gave you a full 7-day normal week.
Actually, I think that is true as well, but just as far, not so much video games, but everything else.
Oh, okay. So anime. What's the everything else?
So we'll start off with, I brought books with me.
Oh, so you could read.
Yeah, because literally, like, the funny thing is I was going to bring like 3 or 4 books. And I was like, that's a little crazy. Really wish I did. Because I brought, I'm infamous for getting literally halfway through a book and stop reading it, which I did with basically all the books I've read the past year. So I brought with me Edward Snowden's book and Bruce Lee's book, which
both you've mentioned on here and both stopped reading.
Yeah, halfway through. I finished them both in like, I don't know, I probably spent 2 days a piece on them and finished them. And I was like, fuck, what do I do now? So, yeah, I finished those.
Learn Spanish and read those books.
Yeah, that's why I wish I brought another book. Because I was like, I'm going to shoot myself. There's an ant on your wall. I think that's an ant. I can't tell.
It's a drunk ant.
It is a drunk ant.
It's going to die, but you keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, you do you.
Listeners, if you hear a bang, don't worry about it. Matt will keep talking, and I might come back to the show.
He's fighting an ant. So I finished Bruce Lee's book, which was great. It's a biography. Really fascinating. And then I finished Edward Snowden's book, which was an autobiography. And I think once you finish your baseball book, I think you should read it because I think you'd find it. Yeah, because I think you'd. I enjoyed it obviously, but I think you might enjoy it in a different way just because of career paths.
Okay, yeah,
and
actually being IT and stuff. Like
yeah,
that.
I think you'll appreciate a lot of the stuff that he has to deal with and go through and stuff like that.
I'm intrigued to read it just for the
It gets a little
because even after the baseball one, I still have like another 4 or 5 from Christmas that I gotta get through. But I don't mind inserting one in there because I think those other ones I can get through pretty quick. The baseball one I'm about halfway through. I'm gonna skip into a little bit of B. The baseball one I'm about halfway through. But reading it isn't like it's not a quick read. It's a slow read. Like here's the chapter. Here's what the theory they present. Understand and now move on.
Yeah, his
not
books.
Like there's a test on it or anything.
Yeah.
But
his books are quick read. It's easy. Like it's it's not something that like you have to study.
Right.
And it's shorter. It's not super long, which is kind of nice.
Mine's basically the baseball one's similar to a textbook in a sense, where like you get to a chapter and they're like, and then remember the stuff we talked about in chapter 2-1, and I'm like, Oh, okay, hold on. Oh, okay, I understand where they're pulling. Oh, okay. As I'm flipping back to chapter 2-1, giving a quick summary read and then going back.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, all right. So you managed to finish some books.
Yep, I finished the books. I did keep up on some anime, and it's really the baseball anime. The main character got his ace number. He's number 1. Oh, so all right. He's the ace going into their tournament. So that's exciting.
I can't wait for baseball to actually start for you.
Yeah, I got excited because John Boy started doing there's so much of his stuff I got to catch up on just because that's relevant to.
Well, all the TPPs are 20 minutes.
Yeah,
and for you that'll be great.
Yeah,
not only 20-minute length, but you also need the TPPs.
Mm-hmm. What else did I do? Anime.
And you can choose a team to root for when they're all done.
Yeah, which will probably be the Yankees. That reminds me.
Fair enough.
So
I'm not going to sway you into the Yankees. So
yeah, it just makes sense.
I mean, you could be the Mets fan. Be wrong, but it's a choice.
So much Yankee paraphernalia in the Dominican Republic.
That makes sense.
And at least 50% of the people, when they're like, "Oh, where are you from?" I'd be like, "Oh, New York." I'm like, "Oh, Yankees."
Yeah.
And I was just like,
they have a very strong presence in the DR, and I believe I think Jason Dominguez is from there.
I don't know.
He's their new 16-year-old signing. 16-year-old international prospect, the most money they've ever paid for one, and the kid slaps that ball.
I'm not surprised, man. There's baseball is.
I'll show you some stuff. It is the sport down there.
Yeah, it's pretty hot down there. It seems like.
I'll show you some stuff after of one Jason Dominguez. I say Jason because it's JSSON. But yeah, just Jason.
Oh, I watched Joker on the flight.
Oh, okay, all right. Thoughts? I still haven't seen it, so
I don't think you'll like it. I liked it.
I do have a feeling after seeing certain clips, I'm like, I'm not gonna like this. Unfortunately,
Samantha didn't. She didn't watch it. She just she didn't. I was watching it and I had my headphones on. So she was just seeing a random thing on the screen every once in a while, and she just always had this disgusted look on her face.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's also Sam's face.
Yeah. So I had to there was I really enjoyed it, but it's not. I get why people like it so much.
Do we live in a society? Is it one of those type of movies? We live in a society where blah 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 blah. You know the underlying. We live in a world where blah.
Yeah,
blah,
it's
blah.
clearly
the weak and downtrodden bullshit.
Exactly.
Yep.
And I get why people wouldn't like it, and I don't think. Yeah, I'm fairly sure you won't like it, but I also
because
think
that's not the part of Joker that I like.
Yeah, yeah.
Although
he is crazy. Okay. He is definitely crazy in it. It's a good crazy. I don't know. I don't want to ruin it, but I went into it not knowing really anything about it other than seeing a couple YouTube clips, and it was not what I thought it was going to be. So
all right.
So Joker. What else would I have on here that I did? F1 testing started. It's the first test. Already some shenanigans going on.
Oh, of course, it wouldn't be an F1 series without shenanigans.
The nice thing is that all the teams seem to be reliable and sticking into somewhat of a group pace, which is crazy.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
It's testing.
Yeah. The two irritating things, not irritating, but the two highlights seems to be Racing Point almost exactly copied Mercedes car from last year. It's it's a fucking copy. I've seen breakdowns. I've seen the side by side.
But wouldn't you want to? I mean, they dominated.
This is the argument that's going into it, and I fall in my irritation with it comes from this. Racing Point was one of those teams who were pissed at Haas for their partnership with Ferrari, and was giving them shade, and then was also giving shade to all these other teams for doing some tomfoolery with the rules. And then they come out this season with literally a carbon copy of the Mercedes car from last year. Yes, it's going to be fast, but you fucking hypocrites.
No, okay. I guess I get that point, but at the same time, obviously, why would you not look at them and go, well, we couldn't figure it out. They did.
Yeah.
Take that.
And their car's fucking fast, naturally. So it was only, guess who the only team quicker than them at testing so far was?
Mercedes.
Yes. And that's the other story, is that Mercedes found a loophole in the rules.
So they're even faster.
I saw it, and everyone's had the same reaction. All the other teams who had the same reaction too was like, well, that's fucking brilliant, so we can't even be mad at them.
Yeah.
Their steering wheel moves. So essentially, they changed the camber on their wheels mechanically by pushing the steering wheel forward and backwards.
Oh.
Yes, exactly. You're like, oh shit, that's fucking brilliant. So essentially, going into straights, they can pull the steering wheel back and it straightens the wheels up.
Yeah.
And then when they get to a corner
Just
and they
push it in a
naturally
little bit.
braking,
Yeah.
it naturally pushes the steering wheel forward and it pushes the wheels in so that you get better grip in the corners. Motherfuckers, man.
I love it. Love it. Engineering, rule, skeeting geniuses.
It's so funny because you'd think the reactions from all the other teams is what I'm enjoying, because they're all just like,
all right.
they're like, that's amazing. The other drivers are like,
much different than cheating in baseball.
yeah. So I'm gonna try to wrap this up, but the other nice thing I came home to was you're familiar with the bathroom remodel.
I am
nonsense.
familiar with the bathroom remodel nonsense.
I came home and it was like 11 o'clock at night, and Samantha's like, Matt, can you come up here? And I was like, oh shit, what happened? And I ran upstairs. They finished it. Not finished it, but wiring's all done. Drywall's all up. It's all mudded, sanded.
Well, there's your blessing right there.
And
the mudding of drywall.
Yep. Lighting's in. And, sockets, all that good stuff's in.
Huh.
And I was like, oh shit.
Well, all right then.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I was like, all right then. Yeah, so that's
all right.
And then I played Kodor because I couldn't figure out what to play. And that was, I say I played Kodor. I didn't really play it. I spent 3 hours trying to figure out how to get Kodor to run in widescreen with the UI working correctly.
Oh, Jesus.
Which was, some.
So you're really pushing
watching YouTube videos and doing some stupid hacker man shit. Like, oh, let's drag the file over here.
Here comes
install this thing over here and hit this button over here. Like
the time to hack GIF.
Yeah. So,
but man, you're really pushing for that Kodor remake, aren't you?
I don't know. I didn't want to buy money. I didn't want to spend money on a game that I wasn't sure I would like or play. So I was like, I'm just going to install Kodor and play that until I can make up my mind. So there it is.
Dangerous game.
Yeah.
Some would say the most dangerous game.
Yeah. That's it. That's all I got.
Fun times.
Yeah. What have you been up to?
Not traveling the world. Tell you
that's
that.
All right.
I mean, dealing with this weather bullshit that's been happening, but either, just anyway, just stick to what we do here. Baseball book, I already talked about that. We started watching Hunters.
Yes.
First episode came out, the whole season came out today. Mm-hmm. We watched the first episode tonight. Pretty good. I enjoyed it.
I liked it.
I was like, all right, I look forward to this for the next 9 weeks. I don't think I had anything else in the watch category. But I did have things, if this loads fast enough. I haven't loaded this before. That's my problem. I did talk about it the last one. I was watching Lego Masters. I've watched the second episode now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, all right, that's kind of cool. I don't understand. Like, Will Arnett as a host, like, give or take, and like the whole contest idea as a whole, I'm just like, whatever. But it is cool seeing, like, I don't care about the team drama or the teams. Like, I've never really given a shit.
Yeah.
Even when I love watching the Great British Bake Off, I don't give a shit about their personal stories outside of it. I want to see what they make.
Yeah.
So there's times where they're like, oh yeah, these stories and blah blah, and I'm like, I just don't care. Just show me what you're gonna do and make and whatever, and like things that I never thought were possible with Lego. So it's a other monitor while I play some stuff type of show.
I'm curious about the show, but I have to not watch it on principle for a little bit because the commercial for it was playing nonstop on the TV wall.
The commercial for it also played every time I watched like certain things, and I was like, I can't, I don't want, nope. But I just like, all right, now that I'm back in my house, like around holidays and stuff, it would always be on. Go for, I think it started during Thanksgiving stuff, or like even if I was watching football, that commercial would run every Sunday, and I'm like, but now that I'm back in my house where ads don't run because I don't believe in cable, now I'm okay.
Yeah.
And then I played some WoW.
More WoW.
Yeah. I might have accidentally got Todd back into retail.
See, now you're gonna get conned into re-upping your subscription.
No, that officially won't happen until the new expansion is actually out. My subscription ends maybe March 15th, roughly the same day Doom comes out. Perfectly. So when that lapses, that ends until Shadowlands comes out, and then I will officially be going back for that.
Have they put a date on Shadowlands yet?
No, so that's the other thing. I expect August, September.
That's their normal.
That's right around their normal
window.
Stuff, and I don't think they would want to come out any later than that, because then you're really pushing into bad territory time. And then, so yeah, I've been playing that. Been having some fun, trying to get to everybody to max level, because of the level crunch it's going to happen.
Yeah.
If I get everybody to max level, I know they start at 50. If they don't get to max level now, I don't know. I can't do the mental gymnastics in the math to figure out where they're going to end up. So I'm trying to fix it all now.
Yeah.
So going forward, I'm fine. So it's been fun. It's been a good time. Playing with him. It's something we can both play together and do things. Where in Classic, he's now so far ahead of me that it just isn't worth it. I still enjoy doing like some instances every now and then, maybe, but it's just not. There's no reason for him to do them.
Yeah.
And trying to find a group on my own is just terrible. Like nobody really runs instances. It's a lot. It's just the whole thing. So retail fixes all those problems.
It's funny how that works.
Well, it's not really that. It's how we knew it was going to happen. But the kick that's written there is that I have finished the Outer Worlds.
Okay.
It is finished as of today.
Did you just do like a little speed run of it?
15 hours.
Okay.
No speed run. But I got to. It basically kicked off when I got to Byzantium. I'm like, well, I don't know what else, because I had some side stuff to do.
Yeah.
But I was trying to do it in my WoW way of, all right, I have 3 missions on this planet. All right, so let's just go to that planet and do those 3 missions.
So did you go to, what planet is it? Because like you could skip an entire planet, which is essentially what I did.
I did not finish with 5 companions. Or 6 companions. I had an empty slot in my companion list.
I think I did as well. I think you probably took a similar route to what I did, which, like, there's one planet you go to. You can technically skip it if you, depending on how you do a quest.
Okay.
But I didn't. I went there and I literally did like the fucking bare minimum, which was like run into a city, kill some people, run out, and. That was me finishing the game quickly because I was like, I'm done with this.
I had it, so I was trying to play both sides of the main storyline for the longest time. And then I didn't trigger the end quest, but I triggered a no more both sides.
Okay.
You are now on the same timeline. Like they diverged, or not diverged, they converged together.
Okay.
So I no longer could play both sides.
You had to choose one eventually, type thing.
No, it wasn't even that I had to choose one. It was that they both led to the same thing now.
Okay.
So they didn't diverge away from each other. They just went, nope, you're now on this. So instead of having the 2 main quests, it just became 1 main quest. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess this is what I'm doing now.
So did it default you to a side, or did it just say...
So it was...
I'm so curious.
What's her name?
Oh, my God. They're coming out of the woodwork. I'm so curious on how this panned out, because like I've talked to like maybe three different people, and like all of the main story endings were like wildly different for all of us.
Okay, so yeah, it's because Max's hair went over the air vent, which is blowing up heat right now. So the part where it converged for me, and eventually we'll get to news. Don't worry.
Yeah,
but the part where it converged.
Don't worry.
For
there's
me,
not exciting news, so that,
yeah,
we'll probably blow through it quickly.
I'm sure people want to hear about Animal Crossing, but we converged at whatever her name was, King Lady of corporations.
Let me ask you this. Because I felt like this character came in out of left field, and I was like, who the fuck is this bitch?
Okay.
Did you have that same feeling?
Mm-hmm.
Because she just like comes, she's all of a sudden is like the main antagonist. I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck this is.
Yeah.
I gotta kill this person? Like,
my biggest complaint with the game is that it doesn't know the story it's telling.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, it's like
you have all these options, but at no point do they understand the story they're trying to tell you.
Yeah, they have good ideas, but they don't like flesh anything out.
Yeah, they're like, all right, what if we threw all these ideas into the game? And they're like, perfect, that works. And then everybody's like, kind of.
Does it work?
Yeah.
Does it?
So she shows up, and then I get to a spot where I do some stuff, and then I do one more thing, and she's like, perfect, you should come talk to me. And we'll decide. We'll talk about the future. I was like, okay. Meanwhile, I'm doing the other thing at the same time for him. And then I do it and go back to him because he gets ransacked or whatever.
Okay.
Spoilers, by the way. If you're planning on playing Outer Worlds, it might be spoilers. So I go back up to him, and then at this point, after I go to him, it's now become one quest. Because no longer can I go talk to her.
It's a similar outcome to what I went through. He gets kidnapped, essentially.
Yep.
By
her, yeah.
Okay. All right. We're on the same page now.
Because that happened, I became on one quest at that point because I couldn't just go talk to her now. And so I went to whatever that T planet is.
Yeah, like prison planet.
Yeah, went to the prison planet, found Anakin, had the high ground the whole time, and, betrayed him. No, but went through that whole thing, did not have the key card, like the ID, to be cloaked in there.
Yeah.
So I was in a murder spree the entire time. Me and the Groundbreaker murdering.
Okay.
Because a Groundbreaker showed up because Pavardi and Junlei hit it off. And so
that's cool because I didn't have that happen.
Because I don't know if it was that. It was maybe because of that mixed with according to Junlei, I did right by the Groundbreaker. So they showed up when we first docked. Like, I docked, and the corporate commander or whatever was like, what are you doing here? You're going to be impounded and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then as you're talking to him, he's like, what? Why is there another signal from... What's the Groundbreaker? And I'm like, what the hell are they doing here? And then I get off the ship, and I start going towards my fight. And Junlei's broadcasting this message as her fighters just come pouring out of this portal. So now it's just this onslaught onto this base.
Oh, that's cool.
Only for the beginning. Once you get through the other door, it's back to you and your companions. And I died because I walked out and realized I didn't have the cloaking device because I didn't have the badge or whatever.
Yeah.
So I started just getting a giant fight. That ended poorly. And then I reloaded, did the same thing again. And then went to a different area, climbed up on the crates on the right side of that room, and just stealthed my way. Stealth kill with melee weapons my entire way across. And then went down to kill Big Baddie. Big Baddie glitched the first time I killed him. And his body launched out of the room. So I couldn't loot him.
And you need to, right?
He has the key. You can't progress unless you loot the key. So I had to reload that and kill him again.
Nice. So
I had to do everything twice.
What ending did you go with then?
I didn't have a choice.
So
I walked in and she drew her gun on me, so I shot her.
Okay, so you killed her.
I put one bullet in her and she vaporized. And I was like, cheers. And then the only choice after that, I think, is I chose to become the ruler.
Okay.
Because rather than, I was like, I'm going to do what I've always done, whatever the hell I want. And I was like, no, what? No.
Yeah.
And then they're like, there's only one person to rule this galaxy, me. And I was like, that's arrogant. Choose it.
Nice.
And so I ruled the galaxy.
Cool. Yeah. Outer Worlds.
It was the thing.
It was a thing. I don't.
It would not have topped my Game of the Year list.
It would not have. I don't. That was my thing. Was it wasn't a bad game, but like I was kind of confused when people were like throwing it, like when it showed up on all the Game of the Years after.
It's definitely good, but like I said with the story problem, and then when I think back on it, did I enjoy it more than, and was it better than Pokemon Sword and Shield? No, and for me, it's very close, but I think it has a more disjointed story than Pokemon Sword and Shield, which is really its biggest crux. And Pokemon Sword and Shield's story problem is once the game is over.
Yeah.
There's a second story that they try to tell you, and it doesn't make any sense why they tell you then. But if I was to re-look at my 2019 Game of the Year, Luigi's Mansion 3 takes it.
Yeah. Interesting.
Period.
Huh.
So far. I haven't played Control yet.
I haven't either.
So far, Luigi's Mansion 3 would reseat everything and be Game of the Year.
It's so this past year with all the games is like the most mind-boggling to me. Like
the most like whatever year.
Yeah, and like just it's so weird and disjointed, but all right.
We should move on though.
We should. And we shall.
To
I don't know. I mean, are there new releases this week?
Yeah, I just didn't write them in because I was letting you play Sniper Elite. Or sorry, not Sniper Elite. I was letting you play Zombie Army, Dead War. But I did pull up the list on my thing, and you're going to watch me live read it while I live curate this list.
Live curate. You're part of the process here, folks.
Trust the process.
I wouldn't go that far.
Trust me. Trust me.
It's more like...
Could I ever lead you? Could this voice ever lead you wrong?
It's more like...
Jump off that cliff.
I am the ruler. That option.
I am the ruler now. Look at me, Phineas. Look at me. I haven't said a word this entire damn time, but I am the ruler now. Bayonetta comes to the PS4. And I think of the Xbox One. Hunt Showdown officially comes to the PS4. Lost Artifacts goes to the Xbox One. Sikio Shooting Stars Bravo, no idea. It's one of those giant limited edition Japanese games. Comes to the Switch. Vanquish comes to PlayStation 4. Bunny Parking comes to the Xbox One. Autobahn Police Simulator 2 for the PlayStation 4.
2.
Blood Will Be Spilled for the Switch. Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition for the Switch. Frederick for the Switch. Let's see here. What do I like? Sudoku Relax 4 Winter Snow for the Switch. Townsmen, A Kingdom Rebuilt for the PlayStation 4. Uncharted Tides Port Royale for the Switch. No, it's not Uncharted. Under Night in Birth EXE Late Control. What? I have no idea. PlayStation 4 and Switch. That's probably super Japanese. The Vitamin Connection for Switch. Ailment for Xbox One. Brief Battles. That is battles, I believe, with briefs.
Wow.
For the Switch. Bullet Sorrow VR for the PlayStation 4. Seal Fledge, A Daughter Raising Simulator for the Switch. So, if you really want to push the bounds of your imagination. King Lucas for the Switch. Knighten Plus for PlayStation 4 and Switch. That is Knighting without the last G, so Knighten. Last Encounter for the Switch. Otherworldly for the Switch. Tower of Babel, No Mercy for the Switch. A lot of Switch games. Castle of No Escape 2 comes out next week, so I'm going to stop talking.
All right. Speaking of the Switch, Samantha and I had a conversation about getting a Switch. Actually, it was kind of funny.
Whoa! Let's slow your Nintendo hate roll.
What game was it?
Animal
there was
Crossing.
I don't know where we were. I think we might have still been in the Dominican Republic. We were in an airport, and there was a kid there playing. No, we were sitting at the lobby. We were in the lobby of the resort, and it was like a day or two before we were leaving.
Okay.
And there was a kid there, and he was going to town. He was playing the Switch, but he had it like 2 inches from his face. And I was like, that's what I should have done, was got a Switch and played and brought the Switch with me. And she's like, yeah, I thought you would want to do something like that. She's like, I kind of thought about it. And I was like, yeah, they're kind of expensive, though. We just kind of had a conversation about getting a Switch.
Switch Lite.
That's what I was saying. But then, like, here's my deal with the Switch Lite. Great concept. It's cheap, good for the money. But, like, you're just giving up so much. You know what I mean? Like, the docking, the Joy-Cons, because then you can't play certain games. You need to have the and it's just like, it's probably worth the extra $100.
But then, even then, my still question comes for you, Nintendo hater of lore.
It's portable. It's portable. It's portable.
What do you play? What do you play on it? It's portable. What do you play?
I mean, it's got a ton of shit on it now.
What do you play on it?
What was it? I mean, Zelda. I probably would do Mario Kart because it's Mario Kart and it's racing.
Okay, but that doesn't take much. Like, there's no campaign there, so
that's true. I don't know. Switch games. That's what you play on Switch. Switch games. I don't know because I don't own a Switch, so I'm not like, oh, what's in the Switch today? Fucking Golf Story. You know what I mean?
Golf Story's a great game. It would be a great option.
That's like there's shit. I'm sure there's shit out there.
Sports Story when it comes out, also a great option. You get to play some disc golf.
You know, I could play The Witcher.
You could play The Witcher.
All right, enough about this.
Let's move on. Let's start with number one of our headlines that are not that exciting this week. So we'll get off the most two exciting ones right away.
Basically, it's going to be a rough week, guys. I thought my fear was when I went on vacation that shit would pop off when I was gone, which, you know,
to be fair, the correct shit popped off.
Yeah.
The perfect storm for Dewey on an episode, Pokemon Home came out.
Yeah, I mean, that worked. We could not have planned that better. No. Not that we planned it.
No, we did. We spoke with Nintendo reps specifically.
We're like, hey, guys, listen. We really need you.
I need you for news for a podcast episode. I got 2 Pokemon people on it, and my Pokemon hater left. Can you drop home?
And then it's like we got with Sony. We're like, hey, Sony, we really need you to hold off on the PS5.
Yeah, and then hold off after PAX East.
Thanks.
And forever.
And forever. I guess I'll do number one because...
Yeah, do it.
All right. Actually, I don't know. Did you watch the Direct?
No.
Do you know anything about...
There's ladders.
Okay, so yeah, I'll read number one. 1 week after announcing its presence at PAX East, Sony has changed its plans and opted to avoid the show, citing concerns about... See, is it COVID or is it COVID-19? It doesn't matter. We're talking about the coronavirus here, guys. I won't give it the official name. Apparently, people are calling it... What do you think
we are? Who?
I don't know.
The CDC?
Also, did you know that its like name is novel coronavirus? Like,
yes.
What is that? Does that have a meaning? Do you know?
It probably has something, but it probably goes back to the CDC and stuff like that. But then, you know, we're just like, coronavirus. That's easy for Americans to say. It's catchy. It gets in the ears of the young youth looking for diseases.
I like that.
I'm pretty sure that's the way Fox and CNN both do their news stories now.
Yeah, it's pretty spot on. In a blog post, Sony said, quote, "We felt this was the safest option as the situation is changing daily. We are disappointed to cancel our participation in this event, but the health and safety of our global workforce is our highest concern," end quote. We talked briefly about this on the car ride to get some delicious calzones.
Matt getting the weirdest calzone I've heard of in a while,
all right,
by
so
the way.
listen, guys. Listen to this one. I got a calzone with greens, which is like kind of like... It wasn't
wet lettuce.
Yep, wet lettuce. That's a good way of putting it.
Steamed lettuce.
Greens, pineapple, and black olives. Delish.
I'm happy you enjoyed it because I didn't ask you, but at the same time, I was like, "What the hell is this?" Or I wanted the guy.
I've been on a pineapple kick since the Dominican Republic.
I wanted the guy on the other end when I said that to just go, "Okay," but he didn't. He didn't even blink twice. It looked like.
I know they probably get some weird orders. Anyways,
well, last week when I was getting pizza there for Valentine's Day, I was waiting for them to ask me if I wanted to cut a hole in the center of it, but that's a different discussion.
Do you want it shaped like a heart?
Yeah, do you want it shaped like a heart? Do you want us to cut a hole in the middle so you can shove your
dick in a box? Pizza box?
Sorry. Lonely Island is going to get there.
I felt like it was kind of a cop-out. I mean, I feel for, like, I get it. Coronavirus, serious business. But
Totes cereal.
But I did feel like, I personally felt like it was a little bit of a cop-out, like an excuse, but whatever.
I think it's a cop-out, but it's a cop-out that is justified, is I think what I said, where I'm like,
yeah,
I think it's a weak way to drop out a week before the show when coronavirus has been going on for a month. But I also understand health concerns in you saying you don't want to go. Like, the reasoning is valid, but how do you say it a week before the show starts when coronavirus has been going on? Coronavirus was going on when I was in Texas.
Coronavirus was already a thing when they announced that they were...
When they announced we're going to be demoing The Last of Us at PAX.
Yeah.
It was a really weird timeline for them to be saying this. Like, if they had come out in the end of January or something and been like, all right, we're not going to do this just due to these health concerns, but you're going to do it a week before. Oh, excuse me. Hiccups, man.
Mm-hmm.
A week before. I don't know if I can't blame them because there's nothing to blame. But now I don't know what's going to happen. Like,
it's just not a good look.
Giant empty booth space now because they usually have one of the bigger right in the front booths.
Yeah.
So now do I actually get to walk without having to shoulder some small child out of my way?
Mm-hmm.
Or elderly person? Both happen. Usually knees to the small children. Elderly have to get down into their wheelchair height and spear them like I'm Goldberg, but...
Gotta give them a little elbow action.
Oh, no, I lower the shoulder. I get down into a three-point stance like a lineman. And then I just launch. I have somebody blow a whistle and boom.
See how many hips you can break.
Yeah, NFL blitz style, just running through places. But yeah, I don't know. It's just an interesting overall. I'm bummed. Not so much because I was planning on playing Last of Us 2.
Yeah, you would have seen it though.
I would have probably seen it or seen something of it and potentially had a chance to play it. But I also would have seen other things they were doing. I would have seen. They usually have a pretty decent booth where they would have, like last year when they were promoting Days Gone really heavily, I would have wondered if they would have had another art-ish type display for Last of Us or some other type of like Dreams thing now that Dreams is out or something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
For a cool booth. They usually had PSVR demos going on and stuff like that. So they had a very active booth that was decently large.
Mm-hmm.
And now to not have that in that space, I don't know what they're going to fill it with.
I think
haven't heard anything out of PAX's press to say anything. So,
one of the other news stories we'll get into will be I think might be related, but
okay,
we'll
talk
about it when we get there.
It's an interesting thing that I'm going to be walking into next week now.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it means I potentially don't see one of my favorite people to run into at one of the shows. So,
yeah, that's true.
That one is always a bummer because I haven't seen him since last show. Because why would I? Where would I see him? You know what I mean?
True that.
Anyway, shall we move on and talk about Nintendo?
I guess so.
And the game Matt is going to play when he buys a Switch. Nintendo graced us with an Animal Crossing New Horizons Direct. And here is some stuff about it. The game starts you on a deserted island where I almost read that as desert, on a deserted island where you'll unlock access to more facilities over time. What?
Yeah.
Like boats and things, or like...
my understanding...
I have to go turn on a canning factory? Or a geothermal plant?
Kind of like that, yeah. So my understanding is like, you start on Jersey Island with like the bare minimum facilities, and then as you progress,
Yes,
you gain access to more facilities, Animal Crossing style facilities. What the fuck that means? I don't know.
Build doctors and post offices and probably stuff like that. Probably have to do quests to help build the building or unlock the building because it's been run down and blah, blah, blah. Have to get your new friends to come up and then have to hire your friends, Isabella and whatever, to work. Anyway, let's move on. So the main menu in New Horizons takes the form of a smartphone, or Nook phone as it's called in the game. The phone is naturally full of apps, each one corresponding to a specific aspect of the game. And there is probably one... Never mind, I was going to make a Tom Nook horrible reference, because Tom Nook is the hated person usually in Animal Crossing.
I know so little about Animal Crossing.
So Tom Nook is your Walmart equivalent.
Okay.
In the game, where like they're trying to have their own little sustainable town and do their thing, but he has the supermarket that's like taking over the town type of thing. Stardew Valley, it's Joja Mart. Same concept.
Okay.
Joja is the Tom Nook of the Tom Nook.
Okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
So the Nook phone just makes sense because it's, him owning the business and having the Nook phone. And when it's naturally full of apps, I bet there's some bloatware in there, like iTunes. Ooh, said it.
Shots fired.
Bang, bang. There's a new progression system. I'm going to stop at that sentence before I read the rest of it. And so, I didn't know there was a progression system in Animal Crossing. Granted, the last one I played was on the GameCube. From what Nintendo has shown, it looks like the goals will all be tied to things you do in the game anyway, making it a fairly natural progression system, as opposed to them artificial ones.
Yeah. The example I saw was like, catch X amount of fish.
Oh, like it's not even a progression system, really. More of a challenges/achievements.
Yes. And then, like, that's how you gain access to, like, certain facilities or whatever the case may be.
Catch 30 largemouth bass to unlock the fishing hatchery.
Oh my god, are you a game designer?
Oh my god, I'm so good. No, I'm the guy that just writes notes on walls, or I walk into rooms where people have already written a bunch of notes, and I'm like, nah. And I just start kind of not Goodwill Hunting, like not solving the math problem, but fixing their ideas.
Yeah.
Familiar characters are back. What a highlight. My favorite one on this list. Who gives a shit? Obviously they're back. What are you just going to throw the entire cast out and redo it? No way. For local play, up to 8 people can have characters on the same Switch. There's also a 4-player party mode where 4 players can run around at the same time. Don't
know what that means.
So probably 4-player split screen. So you can all be like locally playing at the same time. But 8 people can have like their own profiles on the system.
Okay.
But only 4 can play at once. So you play with one group of friends, and then you take your Switch to the other group of friends that don't know them and play with them.
I got what you're saying.
Picking up what I'm putting down. When it comes to online play, you'll be able to visit friends and have them visit your island. A new party play feature lets up to 4 players visit the same space online. So not only 4-player locally, but 4-player online. Voice and text chat require a separate app, as is true with almost every single Nintendo release. Dewey argues that Fortnite does it. Not sure if Fortnite's bothering with Nintendo or just doing it themselves. So that's a different discussion. There are no cloud saves.
Suck it, cloud saves.
You can shape the island such as demolish cliffs, create pathways across rivers, and build stairs and bridges. Did you guys like Death Stranding? We put the mechanics in Animal Crossing. And it will have multiple free updates. And I think the best thing to mention about Animal Crossing is I think it has the same release date as Doom. And if you don't think that's a coincidence, well, you want to go ripping and tearing, slaying some demons, and then all of a sudden go knock down a tree and hand some apples over to a friend, you can do it. Also,
which game's going to sell better?
Doom or Animal Crossing?
Yeah.
Ooh, we could have a solid bet on
That's
that.
what I'm saying.
What do you think? Do you have a thought before I choose?
I think so. I think so.
You think you want to take a stance?
I don't know. See, here's the issue: is Animal Crossing is only available on Switch.
True, but it is only
Doom
available
is
on
available on multiple platforms.
Three platforms.
Yeah. Oh fuck. See, I want to say Animal Crossing, but I think.
But I will also give you this caveat.
Mm-hmm.
Will we know digital sales? Yes or no?
Probably not.
So if we're only going on physical sales, base your answer on that.
Well, Doom then.
Really? I would have said the other.
Really? Because
based
Xbox
on
and PS4
physical sales, I would have said the Switch. I would have put my money in the Animal Crossing basket.
It's hard to say because Doom's one of those games where people will want to buy it and then be able to trade it in, or
probably. But I think a majority of Doom sales are going to be PC.
Ooh, see, it's so hard. I don't know. I don't think I could with 100% confidence pick one or the other.
For $1 or $5, whatever. That's a $5 bill behind me. But for $1, would you say, based on physical sales alone, because those are the numbers we know we'll get, would you say Doom over Animal Crossing? For $1.
I don't want to just say physical sales though, because we're probably not going to get, if we do get someone who does I don't think we'll get clean numbers. That's the issue.
Okay.
Fuck.
And we would also want a time frame, would we not?
Yeah.
First week sales?
I'm going to go with Animal Crossing.
See, so am I. That's the problem. I don't think it's by much. But
I don't think so either, but I just feel like...
I think only if we limited it to physical, I think Animal Crossing. I think if we open it up to combination physical-digital, definitely I think Doom overtakes it, because I think Doom will go slightly nuts on the PC. The problem being it's on Bethesda. So, give it to
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Oh fuck, I don't know.
It's
I'm
hard
gonna go with
because
Animal Crossing.
people are clamoring for the Animal
That's
Crossing.
the thing. It's like the hype for Animal Crossing. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, there's hype for Doom.
Hype for ripping in the Terran.
All right, we'll have to revisit it when it
Doomslayer,
comes
our
out.
boy. You change the little thing, you pound them.
Maybe they should cross market with each other.
Oh, they already have. I don't know if you've seen someone like Pete Hines was tweeting back and forth, and Bethesda was tweeting back and forth with the latest Direct, because the first Direct, Isabel did it. This Direct, Tom Nook did it. And so Nintendo tweeted, we have a Direct, yada, yada. And Bethesda, I think, tweeted at them and was like, is Isabel going to be there? And so they know, they're both aware of each other, and they're having their fun. Mm-hmm. Some people have flipped the text, so it says Doom Eternal in the Animal Crossing logo, and then Animal Crossing New Horizons or whatever in the Doom logo. And that looks terrible. Other people have been photoshopping Isabel as the Doomslayer. Just her head on the giant Spartan suit, basically. Number 3, Nintendo has announced the first new Switch Lite color since the portable-only console launched last fall. And the new hue is coral.
Coral. It's lovely. It's a lovely color.
Coral is good. I'm good for a good coral, a good salmon.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was just taking that one because it was more Nintendo stuff, and it was really short, so I didn't really want to have to read the next paragraph after I just read all those other ones.
Yeah, it's true. There's a couple short ones in there. Yeah, and there's the Animal Crossing Switch.
The Animal Crossing Switch makes me want to buy another Switch. There are certain times where those skins come out, and I'm like, man, those look so cool, but I'm not going to ever buy another entire console just because of that. It's the same way Ray, our not friend, Brown Man on Twitch. I've met him once, but who doesn't meet him? He goes to how many fan meetups? Who gives a shit? It's not really anything to brag about. Anyway, moving on. He collects Xbox controllers, so he has a wall like that of singular mounted Xbox controllers, and I'm like, you're insane. When will you ever what happens going forward? And it's just one of the things he collects, but some of them are really cool looking, and I get it, but I couldn't justify buying every PS4 color variant that came out.
Yeah,
or PS4 controller color variant that came out. Some of them look sweet.
$60 a pop.
$60 a pop, and I don't. What am I going to use for them? Anyway, that's That's it for me. You can take a sip. I can keep talking. No, take a sip. I got you.
All
right, you sure? All right.
Number 4.
All right. I'm going to take a sip now.
There's a chance that we may see a couple TV shows based on Blizzard IP.
God, that's a scary sentence.
The resume of an Activision Blizzard executive hinted that Blizzard has explored the possibility of an Overwatch TV show, as well as a Diablo one, too. The LinkedIn profile of Nick Van Dyke, I had to make sure I said that because every time I look at it, I want to say Dick Van Dyke.
Hey, Dick Van Dyke might have done it. You never know.
The LinkedIn profile of Nick Van Dyke is the source of these rumors. He's the exec in charge of building Activision Blizzard's TV shows and movies. According to his resume, he was personally involved in developing and selling an animated Overwatch TV show, on top of selling an anime-style Diablo show to Netflix. I don't know if you remember, but these rumors have...
What does that even mean?
I don't exactly. These rumors have popped up before, so specifically the Diablo one.
Well, yeah, they're also always gonna pop up.
Nick Van Dyke's profile notes that the Overwatch TV series was only sold and not greenlit, and that the Diablo show was in pre-production at some point. Blizzard has not made any official announcements surrounding either project, so it's possible neither one will get off the ground.
Oh, I'd be so surprised if neither one of them made it. Sarcasm, folks.
Yeah.
Also, I got to stop hiccuping. It's killing me right now. Speaking of Activision Blizzard, number 5. The deal between Activision Blizzard and Google for the media rights to the former's esports events is said to have cost $160 million. That's the figure given by multiple sources to Esports Observer, which reports this total encompasses Call of Duty, Overwatch, and Hearthstone. YouTube will exclusively broadcast esports events across these games for 3 years. It's not clear how much money each title represents, but sources suggest Overwatch League commands the majority of the sum, with most of the remainder going towards Call of Duty League. Hearthstone is reportedly considered a free throw-in.
Interesting to get a number on there.
Have these 2 shooters and then take this card game for free.
Yeah. Interesting.
Listen, we put some card game in The Witcher, all right?
Apparently there's some from what I read, the number is very similar to like what Twitch's rights, how much Twitch paid for the rights initially.
Okay. Makes sense.
But the difference being that there was incentives for the executives, like if they hit certain viewership numbers and stuff like that. So Activision Blizzard considers this a more favorable deal because their executives essentially could make more money.
Do you smell grease?
I do.
Okay.
It's been driving me nuts. Like, I just feel like, I don't know if it's coming out of my pores.
I don't know either, but I think I need to deep wash my beard.
Yeah, it's something. Like, I don't know if it's like...
Because I feel like it's all just like right here. It's just like right here as
I was smelling my hands earlier. I don't know if you saw me. I was like, what the fuck?
Well, every now and then I just kind of do this.
You get like a whiff of it every once in a while. It's so
just
weird.
Don't
get me wrong.
Sorry, complete sidetrack. It was delicious. But
the calzones were delicious. They were doused in grease. And I'm sure yours was worse because it had like bacon in it.
Bacon, steak, and broccoli.
Yours was probably worse.
But it's just this smell now. I just want to like run my face underneath the shower and then just soap my whole face. And
I just want to get in like a bathtub of like Dawn dish soap or something.
I can arrange that. You know what I should do is I should take my bathtub, go get all the bottles of Dawn that I have because I order in bulk all the time, and just dump them all into the tub and then just shove my face in it and just sit there for a while and be like, all right, I'm good. Then wash that all off and then do it again. Do it like 4 times. Yeah, I'm disgusting.
So slippery.
Yeah, exactly. Then my face is just like, I'm not going to say that. Oh, I was going to say something terrible. Hold on. You know what? I might cut this out, but here. Can't say that one on the air.
I like it. Am I next? Is that what I lost?
Yes.
Okay.
We're right after esports discussion.
We're on 6 here at Gamers 2. We're fond of
that's a sentence I almost never want to hear.
We're fond of mentioning when THQ Nordic or its parent company, Embracer Group,
Would
acquires a new studio.
Wouldn't have been able to tell you what their parent company name was until this article. Only THQ Nordic is what I love calling out.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see their booth. Where's Biomutant?
Embracer Group.
I want to play as that squirrel. Not a squirrel. It's a fox.
There was news about it this week, but I don't remember. Something about, I think there was.
Hopefully it's just going to be at PAX. That's all.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, sorry. THQ Nordic bought somebody, I'm assuming.
They did, but I didn't throw that in here because I thought this was more interesting.
Oh, you started it with when they buy people, though.
They did. They bought more people, but then then
did you just immediately pivot? You led with the buying of people?
Thanks to recent acquisitions and openings, Embracer Group now has 26 wholly or majority-owned development studios. That's more than
That's more than Activision, Bethesda, Take-Two.
Here's the better part, though. That's more than the 10 it owned or had a controlling stake in at this time last year.
More than EA, Ubisoft.
The figure was revealed by CEO Lars Wingefors in the company's latest financial result. 26.
If that name is actually Lars Wingefors,
I don't know. It's Wingefors. It's something Swedish, I'm sure.
Swedish, so it's probably Wingefors.
Wingefors.
Lars. Number 7. I mean, that's just crazy, though.
26. It is 26.
I love it. I love every second about that. Number 7. In its first week, Pokemon series companion app. What? That's a weird. I'm just gonna ignore that part. So in its first week, Pokemon Home achieved an estimated 1.3 million downloads and brought in an estimated $1.8 million in revenue. According to Sensor Tower, launched on February 12th, the Pokemon Cloud Storage service saw approximately 34% of its total downloads came from the United States, while 23% came from Japan. Great Britain came in third at 5.7% of all downloads. So as we can deduce by there, USA. It is funny to see it beat Japan. I mean, it's just storage, so
yeah.
They probably all just own 10 DSs per family. And
I think it's also, I don't know what Japan's population size is, but I'm assuming ours is significantly more.
Probably, but I don't know. I mean, yes, but also it depends on what their population size to Pokemon playing ratio.
Mm-hmm.
Theirs probably wins. But that's a different,
I'm curious. I'm just going to look up their population just out of curiosity's sake. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, what? You looked it up and then just said, oh, yeah.
I know, because I figured we'd just move on. But 126.8 million.
People in Japan.
Now, how many people are in the U.S.? Couple.
375 million? Maybe. I don't know what the actual... That's probably higher than that.
What did you say?
I said 375 million, but I'm pretty sure I'm way off.
No, that's pretty close. 327.
Oh, all right.
You had numbers backwards. 327 million.
All right, I'll take that. I'll take that as a guess.
So we have about 200 million more.
But they're probably close.
Now let me look up the population Pokemon playing density.
Yeah. How many people
per capita Pokemon players?
Yeah. The ratio of existence to Pokemon player, and I need the Venn diagram for each, and then I also need the Venn diagrams broken down for people that play Pokemon, and then people that play this Pokemon game, and then this Pokemon game. I need like the most complicated Venn diagrams you can get, because Pokemon Home can encompass things from Pokemon Bank, and you just bring those people across. Like Dewey and the psychopath that he is, he accounts for probably like 0.003% of the population. And meanwhile, I'm in the like third percentile where I'm like, yeah, I played the games that currently accept Home, but I'm not going back into Bank to do it.
You know, it'd be great if we did get the number of like how many Pokemon were transferred.
Oh, that'll probably come out pretty soon.
Where they're like 300 billion Pokemon have been transferred into Home.
Oh, well, you remember the like the stat pages when we first came out with certain games? I don't remember if it was Destiny maybe or other ones where they did like the full stat breakdowns where they're like, these amount of enemies have been killed and these amount of things have been, the Pokemon home stats of like these amount of things have been traded, have been deposited, have been blah blah blah, would be insane.
It's $5. How much is it a year? $15
a year is $15.99, I think. 3 months is $4.99, and 1 month is $2.99.
I was gonna try to do some like whack math, figure out how many potential Pokemon there could be. We'd have to, because it's 6,000, right? It's the cap.
6,000, yeah.
So,
well, I mean, if you just do 6,000 times 1.3 million, and you'd easily get
some stupid number, that would just be
78 billion. No,
what was it? 1.3 million.
1.3 million times 6,000. Is that 78 billion? Or is it 78? You let me know how close I am. I'm going to stick with my answer. Stick with my answer, but I don't believe it. And then 6,000. If that's saying that everybody maxed out.
1,300,000 times 6,000 is 7.8 billion.
Okay, I added a 0. Oops. All right, so it wasn't that far off. Well, I guess technically, if you look at the two,
welcome to the math podcast.
If you look at the two numbers, I was pretty far off.
But just 1 0.
But when you realize it's 1 0, it's not that bad.
All right, Square Enix will be making an appearance at PAX East.
They've made an appearance at every last one that I've been to.
They're bringing a playable demo of Final Fantasy VII.
Sure.
And as you can see by my statement, I agree with you. We'll see about that.
Oh, I 100% believe they brought a playable one, but I bet it only lasts for 5 minutes.
Yeah. They had a whole list.
And there's also going to be a line that's 3 hours long to play.
Yeah. I'm wondering if they're going to step up their presence.
Oh, here's my guess. I bet they don't even step up their presence. I bet they take all of PlayStation's area and make it the queue line.
The queue line?
They just make a giant zigzag and make people wait for 5 hours to play Final Fantasy for 10 minutes when who gives a shit?
True.
Too many stupid people will give a shit. And they'll stand there and waste their time.
Yep. I mean, honestly,
if that's how you want to experience PAX, do it however you want. I just am telling you it's the wrong way. But if you want to do it, go ahead.
I stood in line for one game when I went to PAX, and it was to play a game that I could play at home that I played all the time, World of Warships.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I do
And remember. I did it strictly for the experience that I got, which was I
dominated.
I fucking wrecked house.
My favorite part was you dominated, and then you tried to ask a question to the person working the booth, and they're like, "Shut up, nerd." Basically, because they clearly either don't make the game or were just like operating it. And they're like, "Oh, are these?" And you're just like, "What?" And I was like, "All right, well, this guy has no idea."
Yeah,
I think I was watching behind you while you were playing.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good time. I mean, I was blatantly trolling because, like, obviously I knew how to play a game and everyone else did not for some reason. So then you're just running around and you're like, ha, ha, torpedo. Yeah, it was like an 8-on-8 game, and I think I sank 6 ships on the other team. So it's like
it is always my favorite thing. Sometimes, like when Dewey and I played our racing game, Fling to the Finish. When we played that racing game, you're tied together and we each had one half of the controller. But as we're determining, like, we can sit down and we can definitely beat almost anybody here, we were watching, like, controls and everything we're supposed to do, and then we just sat down and we're like, yep, we know exactly what we need to do. Locked onto the controller and dominated the race. We weren't even close to the other people. And it's like, all right, well, that was fun, but I probably shouldn't do that again.
In that same vein, one of the fun things we did while we were on vacation was people watching. Oh, and one of the wonderful things that we found we enjoyed watching, because there's like a beach that we went to all the time, like a little enclosed beach,
right? And
they had these like tables that you'd use to set on your drinks, but the top of the table wasn't attached to the legs, and the legs were like an X that folded.
Okay.
So like what people would do is they'd go to pick up the table to move it, but the top would come off and the legs would collapse, and then they couldn't figure out how to put them back together. So like it happened to us one time, and I figured it out pretty quickly. I'm like, all right, clearly this table frame is meant to push against the legs
right,
and
to
hold
keep
it
them
up.
open, yeah.
And like so many people could not figure it out. And we were just like, we got into one, they had these like 2-tier cabanas. So like we're on the second tier up top, like literally bird's eye view watching all these fucking people like trying to put these tables back together. And it was so fantastic.
I love it. Yeah, the people watching at
that
PAX
same
is
like
also,
vein where it's just like, okay.
Yeah. The people watching at PAX can be great, but there are times where I have to stop watching certain people because like if I'm shoulder surfing or something, watching somebody play something, and they're like, they kind of just keep running around in circles, but there's nothing to do. I'm like, the arrow on the screen tells you to run out that damn door. Run out the door. How do you not figure this out? And my inner monologue is like, don't say anything. Just sit here quietly and watch
breathe.
Just watch.
Breathe.
And then I'm just sitting there. I'm like, what's this game behind me? I can't look at this anymore. And I just turn around. And then I hope to glance back to somebody else being there playing. Mm-hmm. Or there are times where I've wanted sometimes to like go into certain, like go into an Overwatch booth or go into a certain booth and just dominate some kids and be like, what's up? What's up? None of you are good. I am here to prove that I am better. And then I'll never see me again. But then I also know that there's a chance that I come across me on the other team. And now him and I get to have an epic 1v1 while the rest of the team does fuck all because they can't do anything.
Exactly.
But at the same time, I don't feel like wasting my time at PAX when I have all these indie games, all these board games, and all these panels and everything I could go do to waste my time going to the Overwatch or League of Legends or whatever. Like, I don't play League anymore, so that'd be terrible. But and I don't play Overwatch, but I can still play shooters. But going to some of those booths where I'm like, yeah, I know these games. I can play them at home. The worship thing. If the line was really short,
yeah,
I would debate it. But for those popular games, they usually are decently longer lines. Yeah. But some of those short lines, I'd be like, yeah, all right. Yeah, I'll make a point of this.
Mm-hmm. There ain't no long line at World of Warships, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. But I don't know the war. I don't know the ship of the wars like some people.
I don't know anymore.
Well, not anymore.
It's so different.
Yeah. You only can run around with a class 3 frigate, and you only do so many things. All right, we're done. But we should do a second episode, I think.
Yeah.
Because I'm in Boston next week, and the normal backup is also with me. So we'll have an episode for you guys next week. But that's it for this week, and we will see you. I'll see you 14 days. We'll see you in 2 weeks, technically, because we're not really going to see you next. Whatever. I already talked about it. Bye. See ya.